Champlain Fair. Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us use this wisely in the service of our town government. We ask it in your holy name. Amen. Salute the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone. We have a resolution tonight. Resolution of appreciation to Leon Dupe. Whereas the Honorable Leon Dupe, tax collector of the town of Champlain for over 14 years, and whereas the Honorable Leon Dupe has served the village of Champlain as trustee and over 10 years on the zoning board of appeals. Whereas the Honorable Leon Dupe served the Champlain Boy Scouts, assistant leader, and commissioner for 15 years, receiving the district award of merit in 1977. Whereas the Honorable Leon Dupe served the St. Mary's Church on the parish council and the bazaar committee for many years. Whereas the Honorable Leon Dupe served Northeast St. Clinton School with the outdoor research program for many years. Whereas the Honorable Leon Dupe served the town, served Champlain American Legion for many years, serving as commander for 2 years. Whereas the Honorable Leon Dupe was a member of the Great Shazy River Memorial Post of Veterans of Foreign War, and whereas during his 14 years of service to the town of Champlain, he always worked the best interest of the taxpayers and needed in the rural community. Be therefore resolved that this is to the town board, that the town board presents that the town of Champlain going public record as extending its honor and Leon Dupe. Since expressing his gratitude and appreciation for many years of service to the town of Champlain, village of Champlain, and many organizations he served for many years. Be therefore resolved that the resolution be spread upon the minutes of the meeting and a copy sent to Marie Dupe, widow of the Honorable Leon Dupe, by the town of Champlain town clerk. Ordered by order of the town board. Bruce Waller, Jules Trina, Larry Barcom, Clifford DeMars, John Paul Tatchell, and Ralph Gilpin clerk. Marie? Marie? Now open it to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Gerald?
Yes. My name is Gerald Mann. I live in Champlain. I might go over a minute or two, and I hope you can bear with me, unless you want to see me again next month. Thank you for allowing me this time to address the board. I apologize for some of my questions I submitted last month. They were rather somewhat ambiguous, and I tried to make my questions this month a little better. When I requested the total cost of running the assessor's office, I meant it in totality. The salary was $38,265. Of course, there's retirement, insurance costs, which is 15% of the amount. There's mileage at 30 cents a mile. No final miles to how many miles, supplies, postage, noted as needed, equipment as needed. So I made a guesstimate, about $6,000. So it comes up to $44,265, and those are probably not exact figures. If I had all those other numbers, it would be a little better. The county agrees to do it for $7.50 a parcel. On the assessment roll, we have 3,192 parcels. So if you want to take your pencils out, John, if you want to go along and figure with me, please do so. 3,192 times 750 gives you a total of 23,940. You take that less the 44,265, you have a savings of $20,325. All I can say is the next move is yours, Town Board. In reference to the cap question on capping of salaries, I meant that if you capped her salary for 3 years, we still would save money by going to the county. On the comp time, number 2 answer, salaried individual employees do not receive comp time. On number 3, allowed to accumulate up to 40 hours, we can live with. Number 4 is the one I can't understand, and maybe you can enlighten me on it further. To conform to personnel policy. Does this overrule comp policy? Some employees receive pay for comp time. Why did they? If they're salaried, why did they receive it? How much was paid out? Did the town board approve it? Did you have a motion supporting that? If the assessor receives some, this will increase the savings. Who, if any, were refused comp time payment because they worked in another area? Renovations. You keep referring to a tight budget. And now you're doing renovations. Was this put out for bids? Was the work essential because it was for the health and safety of the employees? And what is the cost? Clerk position number 6, there is no clerk for code officer. I accept. But does she do code officer work such as letters, notices, and etc.? That she shouldn't do. The code officer should do his own. The town clerk number 5, as this being a non-competitive position, I agree. The town clerk appoints his deputies. Why should the town have to pay his or her salary, which is already paid to the town clerk? If he wants to go on vacation, he asks his deputy to come in. He should compensate them for serving as a deputy. How much did we pay out for services of deputy town clerk? And I have another thing that bothered me a little bit. I got 2 items in there short. Beaumont lanes. I want to compare the Beaumont lane and the golf course. One, they both have a fee to use services. You have to pay for bowling, and you have to pay for golf. Both have a junior league school program. They have an adult league, senior league, and open to all, which is both. Being a junior league supporter, I was happy and proud of the school's junior bowlers girls team. They won the Section 7 playoff, and they placed well in the state. They should have all received congratulations. I went to the owner, Mr. John Roberts, thanking him for making his establishment available to the junior bowlers. He was not happy, not because of the bowlers, but how he was treated by the town code officer and zoning board. He was cited and fined and given until May 1 to comply. That is, repaint the building. This painting, so-called billboard, was done by a student. Was told the painting of the bowling pin was too large. That doesn't make sense. Where was the town board? They should have held up this action. How many complaints were received? I want to know that. It has to be. Because I talked to at least 100 people, and they said they thought it was just fine. It is a bowling center. What's wrong with it? This is more of a winter sport. You need a building inside. The cost of heating is horrendous. The cost of lighting. The cost of keeping equipment in working condition. Golf is a warm weather sport. Heat, lights are not as critical. I feel that Mother Nature would have taken care of the painting. Rain, snow, sleet, ice, and the hot sun. I think this action was unfair and unwarranted action by the code officer. If we lose this enterprise, where will the junior bowlers go? Plattsburgh? Another cost to parents. Will this jeopardize the school program? I feel a gross injustice was dealt to the bowl mart. On the golf course, I received a call from a very upset taxpayer. I had to hold the receiver at least 2 feet from my ear. He said he did not appreciate the fact he was having to pay for my golfing. He stated the following scenario. I did not check on any of this. This is why I'm asking the town board if this really happened. A grievance was filed to lower the assessment on the building portion clubhouse. They asked for $200,000 reduction. They were turned down by the Board of Assessment and Review. The town board overruled, I'm told. That's what he's telling me. I'm going to be asking you. Overruled the BAR, granted the $200,000 reduction in assessment. I take this as an insult to those who serve on the BAR. What is the amount of tax is going to be lost by allowing this $200,000 assessment reduction? This is a double-bladed sword. It also affects your school tax. I will call the school to get this number. Was this action taken at a special meeting? Was the notice published? Was the vote unanimous? He felt one board member should have recused himself. I ask these questions in good faith, and I hope that you give me the right answers, because I'm going to be checking all this out. I just received this 2 days ago, and I was really very much surprised that this, if it transpired, it should have never happened. Again, thank you for your indulgence. I think I went over my 5 minutes, and thank you, Bruce.
You'll give us a list of the...
Yes, I got the questions here.
If we can understand them, we'll answer them. Last time there was some that were sure.
Yes.
Gary?
Yeah, I understand. It's a lot easier if I can talk to you one-on-one and we understand the questions. Writing them down, sometimes you get a little off the what you want to say. Thank you.
Harry McManus, Village of Rouse's Point. Gentlemen, having sat on your side of the table for over 13 years in both village and town government, I'm acutely aware of how hard it is sometimes to make the tough choices that need to be made when you're governing. With this in mind, I believe that I know why the issue of JCEO funding will not go away. To fund the JCEO in the town of Champlain gives everybody in the northern tier a feeling that they're helping their neighbors. It is in the character of our area to do this, and your decision goes against that character. I've talked to many individuals on this issue, and they believe that other alternatives, such as private charities, which are already overly burdened, are not the answer. Restoring funding gives each taxpayer a chance to give collectively to a cause that shows how much they care about their fellow man. I urge you to reconsider, or at least fund the JCEO for 6 months Get all the answers to your questions, all the communications problems worked out, and then make a more informed decision. In my 5 years on the town board, I observed a very worthy program as the JCEO worked to help hundreds of families. Ultimately, a government cannot go against the character of the people and still remain effective. I urge you to reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. Anyone else?
Dennis Roberts, Smith Street, Rouse's Point. Last month I was here and I questioned the board about the whole open forum that the board normally has, question and answer session. And what I was told was concerning JCEO that the questions needed to be submitted to the board in writing, and that this was under the advisement of the town board attorney. And a few days after the meeting, I read in an article in the paper that was not true, that the supervisor had retracted that. What I want to know is, was the Press Republican incorrect, or was I blatantly lied to last month?
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Cody Hampton, a Boy Scout from Troop 07, Champlain, Moores, and Ross Point to New York. We as a troop go around and pick up food for the local food shelves. We are here to support the JCEO and hope that after all you have heard, you will reconsider and reopen our JCEO food shelf here in Champlain for people who need our help. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Kathy Gordon from Rouse's Point. I just wanted to say that I strongly agree with Mr. McManus and this fellow right here. I think in this day and age, we don't do enough to help our elderly. And having the JCEO open on a full-time basis is one way that we can. And I wish that you would reconsider your move to close them for this year, or even just keep them open for 1 day a week. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, Dennis Roberts again. How do I go about getting a response to the question I just answered?
Just like anybody else, write it down and we'll answer you. Anyone else? All right. We can't do this. Okay, the approval of the minutes of the meeting.
I have a question on minutes.
Okay.
On page 3 of the minutes, the motion made junkyard business.
Okay.
Motion seconded by Tran, and motion seconded by Barclay. First part, that should be motion made.
Okay.
Ready?
Let's see that.
So listen to what happened. I really don't know how that happened that way.
Anything else?
Huh?
Anything else? Have a motion on this?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second?
A second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have one from zoning board, looking for an appointment for Gary Juno for the zoning board. I need a motion on this. You have a second? Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next is for your information, it's from Mike Tatro. It's on the building permits and that, and COs have been forwarded. The next is minutes of the New Ambulance District. I went to their last meeting and I'm impressed with what's going on. I think we'll end up being in pretty good shape with them. The next one is a letter that I sent to Gordon Hazen, and I still haven't had a response on it. I can ask questions, but I don't get answers. The next one is our response to Judy Castline. Is that okay, Judy? The letter that we sent you back?
Well,
questions you asked?
you gave me an answer.
One we sent to Gerald Mayo. And next is the contract that we sent to JCEO, which they haven't signed and sent back, so we don't know what they're gonna do. It's a second request, asking Gordon to answer the questions I've asked him in a letter. I haven't received that back. We sent that letter out and February 19th. I have one response from him telling us it's not a subject to the Freedom of Information Act, but he's willing to provide the information for us, but we still haven't received it. Next is from Thermal Board. I'd like a motion on this. Bill will vote to nominate somebody to the board of directors for the Thermal. Can I get a motion on that?
I think a motion that you direct somebody to the meeting.
See, that, in that letter it tells you there's 4 people now, the other choice. Now the second on that.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? This is a letter from our attorney that she met C.J. Madonna, and they talked about the issue with sludge, and they shared different ideas, and she thinks that our laws are pretty good. There's a couple here from Pat on assessment. But should be talking to people March 18th from 9 to 12, and on the 25th from 9 to 12 again. There's one from the Real Property Service. Our records indicate that your assessment unit is completed and update as of 2004 rolls. And this next one is from state of New York, and they're telling us that they're considering developing a statewide wireless network. Is anybody interested in following this up? Oh, you got it, if anybody wants. And next is on water and sewer emergencies. From County Health Department. John, you take this. We have a letter from Public Service, and that we're gonna have to negotiate in February of 2007 to renew our cable contract. Next letter is from Champlain, Rouse's Point, Kiwanis. They have a fundraising program, and they're collecting printer, copier ink cartridges. And it's a fundraiser. If anybody has any, then leave them here and we'll get a hold of Kiwanis. And the next one is from North Country Golf Course. They're sending us a schedule of the youth program for the children of Clinton County this summer. And I understand it's going to be a bigger and better program than what they put on before. Next one is from the Clinton County Department of Personnel. And that's the new for the Clinton County Civil Service rules. For your information. Next is from Schumer's office, and looking for, talking about a grant for assisting violence, end violence against women and with disabilities. Anybody wants to get in on that? This is a letter from an unhappy person down in Point Affair. Bill Lipton. Bill claimed that we didn't get down there early enough to plow, that his wife was late for work. The day I talked with Alan, he had trucks that were broke down, one was stuck. Called the school had no problem getting a bus down there. They haven't had a problem this year with snow. So I don't think we have much of a problem. This is from the Clinton County Youth Bureau, Recreation Department, and this is for a kid that wants to play in another town. Last year we had something come up about that. We had kids from Albert that wanted to play, and we didn't allow it because we have too many children to take care of in our own town. This is one of the engineering firms that we saw him talk with in New York City. And another one on forest management. Maybe we've been interested in this. And that's all I have. I've got one thing. Jack and John asked me about the court program for their computer. With this new customs, they're gonna need it. If you look, you'll see what they brought in this month. It's a big amount. Both judges are doing well. I need a motion on this.
Are they gonna put that online right away? Or
They're gonna start with it. Jan's gonna start with it.
they're gonna start at the border right away?
Well, they're gonna start with the program. So they're all set with the program, or when the board does it. They figure we're gonna at least double the tickets, if not more.
This is gonna be wired right in here. From there right into here. You gotta have it.
Yeah. Eventually we'll be online with Albany. Janice won't have to send any written reports, it'll all be filed right through a computer. Can I get a motion to purchase this?
I make a motion to purchase this computer.
Oh, it's a program.
A program for our computers. Matches up with the government.
Have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We have got one other. Last year we talked about putting the town clerk and the tax collector together. I think a couple councilmen would work on that and talk with our lawyer and see about doing it. Is there anyone that wants to do it?
I'll give it on that.
Anybody else? Larry? Hey, Jules and Larry will take care of that. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll go to committee reports. We can't go to, building committee. Clifford and Larry.
No.
Code department, Mike Tatro.
Yeah, the only thing I've got to report is last week Julie and I went to our annual conference in Lake Placid. It's an educational conference. The state requires us to get so many continuing ed credits every year, and this conference gives us a good share of those. So other than that, nothing new.
Grants committee, John Paul and Larry.
We got a meeting coming up, so we're gonna check it out.
Board of assessment and review, John.
Nothing.
Highway committee, Jules and John Paul.
Right now, we've been talking with Alan on some stuff that he's doing there, so nothing to do right now.
Water and Sewer Committee, John Paul and Larry.
No.
Nothing to report.
Okay, that was 7:35.
No, first one's at 7:30.
I'm sorry. No, 7:35.
Subdivision 7:30.
Okay, all right. At this time, I'll close the meeting. We're going to public hearing. Local law 1, 2004 subdivision regulation. And then we're going to go to local law number 2, planning board. So we have to form a planning board. And the third one was establishing an IC8 zone for adult entertainment. Go ahead.
This is the notice that was put in the paper. The town board of the town of Champlain will hold 3 public hearings at the regular meeting to be held on March 9, 2004 as follows. Local law number 1 of 2004, enacting subdivision regulations for the town of Champlain at 7:30 p.m. Local law number 2 of 2004, adding chapter 98 entitled Planning Board to the town code of the town of Champlain, establishing, forming, and setting forth bylaws for the town of Champlain of Planning Board at 7:35 p.m. Local law number 3 of 2004, amending chapter 130 zoning of the town code of the town of Champlain, establishing IC8 zone for adult uses in the town of Champlain at 7:40 p.m. All persons interested will be given an opportunity to speak or to offer written opinions, either for or against these proposed local laws. Copies of said proposed local laws are available for review at the town clerk's office. The meeting is open to the public. Other business will be taken up at this meeting by order of the town board of the town of Champlain.
Any comment?
No.
Close this. No comment, I'll close this. Open up the regular meeting. You can't vote on this, it's 7:35. You have to wait. Go ahead, so.
Shouldn't have to be.
So we have to wait till 7:35 when we can vote on it. Any discussion on it? Okay.
You want off that landfill committee?
Landfill committee, Jules and John Paul.
I'll be going out there next month, when the water's coming to find out if they have any erosion, so on and so forth. Can't go out till the middle of next month. That's all.
Town clerk's report. Superintendent of Highway,
Oh, in front of me, I got a letter from Clinton County Highway Department from Al Roscoe. He wrote a letter to the Department of DOT for Northeastern Central School for the signs they want to get put up on 276 and Prospect Street. It's on its way, it's working. It might take a little time, but the state's got it now, so. And then right now, what we're doing, we helped the village of Champlain with their flood. We're getting ready for the water.
While we're talking about the highway department, I said a couple of things. I thought that the guys did a good job this weekend helping the village out. I mean, we've got a couple of employees that really did a good job, and they built that bucket. We've got a new bucket. The one was stolen on us, and I think Robbie and Tim have done a good job on that. I guess that's all I got on that. I've got a letter that we received from International Chemical Workers, Ross's Point. It was sent to what this whole letter is looking for a tax break and to help keep jobs at Wyatt Harris. At one time, they had 1,023 workers, now they're down to 794. And they're looking for us to keep taxes down in ways that we can help. Back in November, we sent out 5 or 6 letters to our congressman and senator, Schumer's office. I think we sent one to Pataki's office, asking if there's anything we can do. This is what Harris is asking us. See if there's anything we can do to give Harris a tax break, to keep the taxes down. When we did the budget this year, this is one thing we were thinking about, is trying to keep the taxes down so we don't chase Harris out of town. And we get this letter from them. I like a couple guys to help me out on who we're gonna write to in answering their questions. If anybody wants to help me out on this? John, okay. 2 of us, 3 of us? Okay. We'll talk about it next. Okay. I've got one from the president of JCEO, Bob Boynton. And he came in and talked to me a week ago last Friday. And they would like to sit down and talk with us. But Peggy, if you want to talk with us, I'll appoint a couple guys off the board, and the 3 of us, plus who you would like to bring. And if you'd like to schedule it for this week or next week, we'll be glad to sit down and talk with you.
You named the date and we'll be here.
I would like Larry and Jules in on this. Are you agreed with it? Would you like to do it?
I'm gonna be out of town from the 12th to the 23rd. So we have to do it in between the next 2 days here or after the 23rd.
Are you gonna be here to talk?
Nope.
What about mornings or afternoon better for you, Peggy?
That's immaterial.
About Thursday morning at Thursday
I got
you?
tomorrow.
Huh?
Tomorrow you'll be, I have an early morning appointment, 8 o'clock, I think.
Tomorrow, is tomorrow too soon?
A little bit. I'd have to make a couple of calls.
Next week, oh, you're not gonna be here.
I'm leaving on the 12th.
Okay, let's have it after the 23rd then.
You can either have it Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, what about the 23rd? You're coming back the 23rd? What about the 24th or 25th? Then?
24th I'm available.
Jules, the 24th?
24th?
Okay, you guys prefer a time?
What time of day?
10 o'clock in the morning?
That's fine.
We're here.
Yep. Here.
Thank you.
Huh? We still have 5 minutes before we can vote on that. post-audit bills. Have a motion on that?
I make a motion on the post audit bills to be paid.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Monthly bills.
Make a motion, we pay the monthly bills.
Have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Take care of that. We still have a few minutes to wait. Okay. We'll go back to the public. Anybody from the public wish to speak?
Matter of the resolution creating the IC8 zone, I know there's read in the press, Malone's having a little problem with a club that wants to start. And it has to be 1,000 feet from places of worship, schools, daycares. Is there any area in particular here that you have in consideration for it?
We have one area, right, Julie?
Yeah, it's going to be on the West Service Road. And it will be, the law does say it has to be 1,000 feet.
We have to have an area. We can't go without designating an area, and that's the area that the board picked. Anyone else? Carol? You have anything else?
No,
I
I'm
know
done.
you're talking. I just wanted-
No, I'm just making a comment.
I'm Blanche Lauren. If everything has to be passed by your lawyer, why isn't he here at the meetings? He or she, whoever it is.
That's it.
That's why I want you to talk. I can't hear.
Anyone else?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll vote on these laws.
I can't hear.
Need a motion on local law 1, subdivision regulations.
I make a motion, subdivision regulations.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote. John Paul?
Yes.
Clifford?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Jules?
Yes.
I vote yes. Local law number 2, planning board council. Do I have a motion on it?
Make a motion on planning board council.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call. John Paul?
Yes.
Clifford?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Jules?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Local law 3, establishing an IC8 zone, adult entertainment. Do I have a motion on this?
I make a motion to be local law number 3.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call. John?
Yes.
Clifford?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Jules?
Yes.
I vote yes. I guess this is all we have, right?
We're gonna have one with the storage deal. Not tonight, but is that coming in? You're going to reading for them, all right?
All right.
You know, has that been investigated yet, or?
No, well, Alan is keeping his eye open, the guys are riding around. We haven't seen any sludge dumped into town.
We're gonna be able to pass it for, anyway.
Yeah. Meredith says our law that we have is pretty good. If they test us, then we'll find out. Tomorrow we have supervisors meeting, and I've asked 2 councilmen to come to it. All the councilmen and the supervisors are all meeting tomorrow in Plattsburgh on this sludge. Right now, we're pretty lucky. They're not dumping it, but we could be next. So we're trying to stay on top of it. Any of you councilmen have anything else? Have a motion to close the meeting?
I make a motion to meeting closed.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.